With the wildcard series already finished and every single one surprisingly ending in sweeps, we already near the start of the divisional series this Saturday. So with the matchups set, let's look at who I think will win every series. With Texas coming off of a wildcard matchup where they completely handled the Rays, beating them 4-0 and 7-1, they find themselves in an extremely interesting matchup versus the best American League team by regular season record in the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles are an extremely young team made up of a lot of guys that rose to the Orioles system like Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson, who lack some playoff experience, with this being their first taste of what it's like. The Rangers find themselves with the better offense, scoring 5.44 runs a game, but using their two best starting pitchers in the wild card does hurt, but they have a good staff all around, which is why I'm not worried by that, and their staff is better than the Orioles starting staff by ERA as well. But the bullpen is the big difference, as they've had the 24th bullpen ERA in baseball this year compared to the Orioles' 5th best bullpen ERA at 3.55. We didn't get to see this Texas bullpen have some high leverage endings in that first series, so it's hard to get a gauge, but if they play like they did down the stretch in the regular season, and in the loud Camden yards, it could get messy, but I have the Rangers taking this series and moving on due to the fact of how young this Orioles team is, and the loss to Felix Bautista for the Orioles, and I think the Rangers are able to pull through despite their extremely shaky bullpen and take this home in 5 games. Moving to the other AL matchup, we got the Houston Astros versus the Minnesota Twins. In my last video, I predicted correctly that the Twins weren't going to be an easy run by the Blue Jays, and it turned out that they couldn't handle the Twins at all, as they won both games by 2 runs in 3-1 and 2-0 fashion. But now looking at the pitching staffs, first, both of these staffs are pretty underrated, but we saw the Twins use their 1 and 2 in that wildcard series, which means Joe Ryan will start game 1, and I don't like his matchup versus the Astros at all, and I think the Astros take game 1, but the Twins then win the next 3 and take this series in 4, taking the reigning champs out of the playoffs, and we'll finally see a new AL champ crowned. The only things that I don't like about the Astros is that they only have 2 bullpen arms I really like down the stretch in Ryan Presley and Brian Abreu, who are both great, don't get me wrong, but I think the Twins bullpen is better for the playoff situation, despite being sort of shaky in my eyes as well. But with Johan Duran and Griffin Jax and some good starting pitching following Joe Ryan, I like the Twins matchup here, and that's why I got them winning. Now moving to the NL and to an NL West matchup between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. And my initial reaction was, oh, this should be an easy series for the Dodgers. They beat up on the Diamondbacks all year. But if you remember to last year's NLDS with the Dodgers, this same thing happened when the Dodgers met up with the Padres, and everyone thought it was an easy series for them, and they ended up getting upset. Despite me just making it sound like I was going to pick my third upset of this video and take the Diamondbacks, I will be completely contradicting that and picking the Dodgers to win in 3 games behind Betts and Freeman. I just don't see this young Diamondbacks team continue what they did in the wildcard series versus the Brewers, especially with that extremely weak back end of their starting rotation that now has to start a few games, and this Dodgers offense being a whole different beast compared to the Brewers. I think the Dodgers conquer their playoff woes for at least this series. Now, on to what I expect to be the best series of this slate. We got the NL East matchup of the Phillies versus the Braves. Now, we saw this same matchup last year, and we saw Red October take over and beat the Braves, but will we see that happen again? Well, in Game 1, I think the Phillies take one from the Braves, even with Spencer Strider on the mound, and this win is going to send a shock through the Braves team, which is why they will wake up, and the offense will be too much for the Phillies pitching staff to handle, as they show how good they are heading deeper into the playoffs, and I think the Braves take it home in 4 games. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments, do you agree or disagree with my predictions? And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.